So Vic, how was your quarterfinals and what did you think about it?
Individual quarterfinals was fun. It was a learning experience. I mean, my type of fun is different. We ended up doing so the team that I was working with this year, 1977, who also punched their ticket to semifinals. Is going to be kind of cool to see them. Um, a few of us decided to do individual just to, for ha-has. And we did workout number one first. I did not do that well the first go around. So in the morning, the next morning, following up, and workout number one was the front squat at 225. It was the 9, 15, 21. So it was 9 front squats, 9 handstand walks unbroken, and then it was 15 front squats at 185, and then 15 ring muscle ups and 21 at 135 and 21 wall facing handstand push-ups with a cap of like 15 minutes or something of that nature. Um, so that I thought was just a really smooth workout, like a really well written workout, just because it just your shoulders are just all sorts of fatigue from every angle. And not only that, but it's also the front rack from the front squats. Like the front squats are a little bit of a like kind of a throwaway with the weight being like 225, 185, 135. I was like, you probably could have bumped that up. You probably could have made those front squats a little bit more of a barrier. You don't have to go full 275. You could have gone 255 and then 205 and 155 just to make it so that no one can blast through it. Well, I mean, some could. Yeah, either way, did that one twice. But I did one, then I did two in the morning with the crossover, single unders and snatch. It was a dumbbell snatch and walking lunges. That was actually the sneakiest workout in terms of losing time because if you don't hit those crossovers unbroken, your entire score is ruined. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how fast you snatch that dumbbell. It doesn't matter how fast you lunge. You can't make up time on not going unbroken for the single under crossovers. It just doesn't. It doesn't make any. It doesn't. You might as well just stop the workout and redo it. And we actually found that to be true, where someone else redid it. The next like a cup after me before the deadline, and they were like, "Yeah, when I hit my crossovers unbroken, it was a completely different workout, and I got way farther and way deeper." Um, so yeah. Then,
How long did it take you to get the crossovers down?
oh, I whipped myself for a good 30 to 45 minutes the night before, and then I whooped myself a little bit more till I had some marks and I felt good about it that morning. And then I realized that I just ruined my speed rope because I have stainless steel and like
Ah,
now it's all like crinkled up.
yikes.
I was still able to do them with
Yeah.
that cable. It's not a big deal,
Do you
but
use an RX Smart Gear or do you use the
I have a Rogue SR2.
RPM?
No, Rogue
Okay.
SR2. Yeah. Um it's and then honestly I was like, you know what? Had I had gotten a little bit more time with like a beaded rope that's a little bit longer, or just any rope that's a little bit longer, it probably would have been just fine. But at the end of the day, like I just feel like there's certain implements that okay, cool. If this is fair game, now I need to make sure like it was, oh, I gotta have a drag rope, I've gotta have a Zeus rope, I gotta have this rope, I gotta have now I gotta add a beaded rope. It's like I feel like CrossFit is and RxSG are just like, hey, how do we make these people spend more money? Oh, I know. We need a special rope for every single workout. Great, great, great. Okay, so how do we bundle that? And then CrossFit gives RxSG exactly what they need, and RxSG goes on and says, "Hey, we have a sale on all these ropes that could show up in semifinals or whatever," and they end up selling a boatload of ropes. Nothing against them. I love RxSG. They're good. They're good people. Um,
So you
but
went one, two, you hit one again,
yep. And
and
then I
then
hit 3 that night.
okay.
Which honestly, it felt the best to do 3 workouts in one day as opposed to doing 1 or 2.
Yes.
And I surprised myself on that one because 275 for a jerk is kind of my max because I'm pretty awful at overhead stuff. And I got into the round of 4 or something.
Okay.
And I was like,
It's good.
yeah, like
Yeah.
275 is my quoted max. So
Did you
I
like go really fast on your burpees, or were you just steady and just like?
no, those were
That's
a
what I figured.
throwaway. The burpees
Yeah,
are a throwaway.
they really are.
Um, if you made that weight 255,
Everyone would have finished.
not even that. No, I think if you would have baited someone to make the weight just a little bit lighter, you probably would have seen people go just a bit harder on those burpees. Because the people who had the record breaking times or whatever for those
Yeah.
were already super strong, and they just basically quick singles, 3 seconds each one, good to go, and then their burpees were you could make up the burpee time anywhere. But that might have been the one thing that I thought would have been cool, was to have seen if they had dropped the weight a little bit lower, see how much tighter the gap would have been. But then I also agree that you do need to have something heavy like 275 or maybe even a little bit more, so that when it comes semifinals, these guys are tried and tested, so that you know that this isn't going to be one of those. I think they don't want to repeat something in CrossFit Games history from way, way long ago, where they put a barbell out there and no one can touch it. And you just have people flailing and struggling to hit 1 rep. So it's a really good way to weed that out.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
agree. Yeah.
and how'd you do your day? Okay, so did you do your workout starting Thursday night?
Thursday night I did
Okay.
1.
So what'd you do Saturday? What was the rest of your workouts ordered?
Saturday was just 4.
Oh, okay.
Saturday was just 4. There's the thing is, when you're in the area that I'm in, you have to go to different gyms to do different
Yeah.
workouts. Because again, this is the other problem, is having all the equipment in the right area in one gym. You have to have a really nice gym to have all of that readily available. Um, So you end up having to piece things together like, hey, who's got multiple GHDs that are actually quality? Who's got the rope with the 15-foot climb? Who's got the rig next to a certain rope or an area that's actually solid? Who's got the floor that's actually flat so you can handstand walk without feeling like you're gonna like hit a divot or something? Um, you know, all of those things, all those variables come into play, and then trying to find the right camera angle, trying to make sure that your phone has enough storage, trying to make sure the backup one has the storage. You're just trying to do all these things, and it's as if like preparing for the workout is more taxing than the actual workout. Um,
Do you use a GoPro, or like what kind of camera did you use?
my iPhone,
Okay.
yeah, I use
If
my
you
iPhone.
understand how to use do not
I,
disturb in airplane mode, you'll.
yeah, exactly. I went on Wattproof, put it on there,
Yeah.
but I've had that bite me in the ass before.
Yeah.
I've had Wattproof crash on me. I've had other timers crash on me doing the airplane mode and whatnot. Um, so you have to set up the backup as well.
Yeah.
Or you just realize that it didn't work, or your judge says, "Hey, your camera stopped," and you just say, "Okay, we got to quit the workout and we got to reset and go again." um, it's part of the game.
So what'd you think of the V-ups?
I was just gonna ask him
Um,
that. Damn it.
yeah. So
Hey man, this is a 4-person podcast. Let
I
us all
know.
talk.
I know.
the V ups, I'm honestly, I have 2 thoughts about this. One, I thought it was great that they added them in, because it's a very simple movement. But 2, the standards they put on that were absolute dog shit. And I look at the feeling that you get is the same feeling you get in an affiliate class when a coach gives the class the workout, and you say, okay, I'm going to pride myself in holding up the standards, and you do it. And then you go back and if you're new to CrossFit, this is kind of what used to happen to me, is like, okay, I'm going to make sure I move properly. I do all this stuff right. and then you see someone else post a score, when you're brand new, and you're like, wow, I got 3 rounds, or I got this many. And then this one person puts up like 7 rounds, and you're like, I saw them. They were doing shit for reps. They were bending their arms. They weren't doing this. And I was like, and then I started looking, I didn't spend too much time. I started looking at everyone doing V-ups, and I was like, okay, so they're touching their heels and their feet are coming up separately. They're spreading wide. They're barely touching the ground. Like, I'm like, wait, so could I have gone faster had I been able to just, instead of trying to do exactly what the model said, which is have your hands actually touch the ends of your toes? Or what was the purpose, that was the gripe. I do like that they put it in there. It just needed to be better standardized, and they needed to make it more clear, um, as to what it is, because then it just became a how fast can you fold yourself in half, no matter what happens with your hands or your feet in the process. And that, to me, I was like, okay, well, if that was the case, why don't you just do like, fuck it, why don't you just do burpee broad jumps for distance? Doesn't matter how you get there, just get there. Um,
And
so I
then, okay, which is fair, and I'll have more follow up when we come back to me. And then I guess you did that Saturday, and then how did you feel going into Sunday then? After
Yeah.
having
Buddy,
done,
I was cooked.
okay, that's what I figured.
I was
like,
absolutely
I was
the
like,
feeling. I was like, you did 4 and then you did 5. Oh,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
poor guy.
and not for the reasons that you think. My core was fine. My core was fine. I was just mentally zapped.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I kind of felt the same way last year, where like Sunday, I feel like in the future, I never want to have to do a workout on a Sunday alone as your finale, because God, that is the absolute worst. You're getting ready you're warming up to go do the workout, and you're like, okay, this is the last one. All right, cool, here we go. Let's get going. And you're just like, why am I doing this? Like,
You know what
what?
fixes that?
What?
Training on a Sunday.
What a savage. The guy's just being honest, just trying to like put his feels out there.
You know
And then
who
this girl just
you know
from the
who does
clouds.
does that?
Me?
Me. And it just I was still zapped. I was still zapped. I was just like, all right, it is what it is. It was a fun workout. I like the deadlifts and the mixture of gymnastics. I never realized how much grip is used on chest to bar and muscle ups and then your deadlifts, so that when you get to the rope climbs, you don't feel it. You don't feel it until rep 7, 8, and 9. Rep 7, 8, and 9 of the rope climbs, you're literally, your shit's numb. It is numb. And you're like, am I pulling or am I holding? And you have to actually literally look at your hand, like Ace Ventura looks at his legs to see if there's an air, like an actual like spear in it.
Yeah.
You're like, is my hand holding on to something, or am I just, is it, I can't feel it. So you're looking at it. You're visually looking at your hand to make sure you're grabbing the rope. That's what it was.
Well, that's why Misfit actually programmed the farmers walks, the heavy kettlebell farmers walks during the accessory work.
Did those today. My forearms are still on fire.
Yep.
That was fun. Yeah, we did those. It was supposed to be dumbbells farmers carries, but I have a janky 75-pound one, so I just use the kettlebells. And
kettlebells are easier.
Hot take.
Kettlebells are easier.
I understand that people say that.
Not hurting you at all, because I do it all the time, because that's what they use in High Rocks, but I use the dumbbells for training. But
oh, I would love to. No, I have the dumbbell that I have.
We saw it on your Instagram story.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's janky. It's janky. It is bent and it rolls away from you. Yeah. Still effective. Yeah, so that was quarterfinals. I thought overall the test was great. Great for the semifinals, but also it's inconclusive to really give a full judgment, because I honestly feel like we're such a knee-jerk community that we don't take a look at, well, what's coming up next? Like, what is this setting us up for? What are we preparing for to see in the semifinals and in the CrossFit games? And we have to judge that as a whole. Whereas, you could say, oh, the open, oh, that was dumb. They should have done this, they should have done that. And arguably, the shuttle, we talked about that. And then we look at individual quarterfinals. I'm like, oh, well, this was kind of silly. We shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have done this. I'm like, well, we don't know what the next step, or the next iteration is into semifinals or into the games. And were these tests adequate to make sure that they were ready for the tests for semifinals and for the test of the CrossFit Games? And then the real question is, is CrossFit looking at the test as a whole already and saying, how do we make sure that we have the best people that are suited to complete the workouts we've already planned? Or are we trying to decide what the fittest is? I don't know, like, and some of that kind of, overlaps, but it almost feels like they're trying to select for the workouts they have. Like, okay, someone is going to really excel or do their best or be the strongest for these workouts and going to give us the spectacle that we want if they can do well on these earlier tests. Does that sound crazy? I feel like that's kind of where
Yeah.
we're at right now.